under tripod. Me. I did. I'm the winner. Okay, so last night after I got off, I was bound and determined to do something out of my element. Which, if you can believe, everything is a little bit out of my element. But what I did last night, I'm very proud of, and shocked that I made it. But I still have a lot of finishing to do on it, and this is it. I made this huge Mookite Jasper ring with a stone hole. Hi. So that's what I did last night after I got off live. So yesterday you might have seen that I made the glow ring. And it has a crescent moon and a moonstone set into it. And then like I mentioned, I wanted to do something absolutely out of my elements, and I made this. I still have, hello, thanks everyone for being here. I still have a lot to do on this, and there's a lot of imperfections, but I'm just so stinking proud that I did it. I'm a bit baffled. I need to set the stone a little bit better and polish it a bit more. Hello. So that's what I'm really going to be doing a lot today is polishing, setting, and going. So I have this right here and my bezel pusher, and I'm just gonna go around and hit a few of the areas a little bit better, because I do see some air gaps or pockets. I'm just gonna hit it, and then I'm gonna go over it again with my burnisher, which this is my burnisher. Somehow I got something on this. Always got something on my hands. Today we took the kids out of the house. We went to the flea market today, and I got some really awesome sterling silver pendants for really cheap, under $5 each. So I was really jazzed about that. I got an Occupy Japan plate. Just a lot of really cool stuff, in my opinion, my humble opinion. I have been looking into how to correctly saw with my jeweler saw, because I need a lot of work on that. But this is a ring that I'm definitely probably gonna show on my Friday night auction. Tonight I'm not gonna be on with Jenny. Jenny's gonna be out of town. So this is what I'm doing. I'm hanging out, and I am closing any gaps. And it seems a lot worse than what it is. I just don't have my hand right. Normally I'd have my I need to have something, and I was talking to my husband about putting something that sticks out a bit so that I can have my bench pin here or somewhere. So I can have it lower and I can actually work on it. But, you know. So anyways, I went ahead and did this last night, like I mentioned, and it was getting late. But I wanted to today, since he was off of work, take this opportunity and really rock this out. And then of course, if I had time, maybe do something else. But again, this is it. I was just completely, everything is sterling silver, and it's huge. It's sitting right now at a size 11, 11 and a half. I made it huge. Just the way the cookie crumbles. So this could be like a men's ring. This could be a middle finger ring for those of you who have bigger fingers. But I know that a lot of the stuff I buy oftentimes don't come with bigger rings. And that size is too big for me, but that doesn't mean that it's not too big for somebody else. So, you know, why not? So I'm going over the edges with a burnisher. And since this is a scalloped edge, it really helps me grip it. I'm a little intimidated by the regular flat unserrated bezel as it stands right now. And so I haven't really played with my flat bezel yet, but I do have a lot of that, so I may end up having to play with it. But yeah, that's that. And I got, hi Kelly! I got, someone messaged me and asked me to make them a ring. I could not believe it. I was shocked. But you see it. You see how I'm doing it here. It's working on getting some different stones and whatnot. So there it is again. And I did do the open back. It's very organic. It is very rough, but it's a honker and a half. Like, this is huge. But what's great, and I love the stone hole, because I love, you know, the ability to have the stone be able to touch your skin. That's a big deal for me. So anyways, that's what I did last night. This humongous guy. And it is top heavy obs, but I was looking through a lot of my cabs last night, and I was like, you know, I want to make something substantial. And it sits catty cornered on me, because it's huge. But it sits straight. Stones like to breathe, yes, exactly. So I'm probably gonna take my polishing pad and just go around the edge of this a little bit more, just because it's my first one. It's not perfect. And then, I don't know, rings have really been speaking to me. I need to make a pendant. I need to make other stuff. You were in the beginning of your joy journey. The point is, yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, my thing is I didn't want it to be loose. Made me nervous. So anyways, that's what's crack-a-lackin' with that. And then of course I have my my eagle here. I need to polish the dickens out of this guy and then set his stone in. So I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing today. The Dremel has been absolutely next level amazing, as far as polishing and getting all of that together. I was fiddling with it last night, viewing reviews on YouTube and whatnot, so that was really exciting. So I'm not able to use a lot of the mandrels that it came with because I have a Dremel, and the Dremel likes a little bit of a thicker mandrel. So I have to kind of replace it a little bit more often than I guess I would like, but it is what it is. So like I mentioned, I'm gonna take this ring. As you can see, there's a whole heck of a lot of solder down there in the bottom, excess solder, a whole heck of a lot of stuff that needs to be drilled out or buffed out on this. I'm gonna buff it out, and hopefully, like I mentioned, my plan was today was to set it. It's sitting at like a size 8 right now, and I know because it's a little wonked. I have the same Dremel to trim my dog's nails. Oh yeah? That's funny. I used to, not so much anymore, cut stones. I tried to make a little bear out of this guy. But I kind of found like this was calling me. So immediately, it's amazing. And I am in a ventilated area. You guys may hear my fan and may not see my fan. But there's concern. Hi, Carly. So I am gonna take my like half round a bit, try to get in here as best as I can to kind of get a bit of the solder off. It really took the top one off, but I think probably because there's a lot of solder on the bottom. I may just have to come in at it like this. I'm gonna take my 400 grit and get in between here. Really work at getting that extra solder off. You got it. Hope it's good. Went to the flea market today and man, they had fruits, vegetables, just I missed going, and we had ended up getting some Mexican pan dulce, Mexican sweetbread. I'm really excited about it. For those of you who may know, it's the one that's the strawberry roll with the coconut on the outside. That one's the tits. Just taking my smaller smaller, and this may just be stuck on here forever. This is my first like project. So I do have the blue, the silicone, and I'm going to take my Dremel one more time here. Get at it. What? Chicken butt? Just a chicken butt situation? Waiting with anticipation. Love con dulce. Ooh, tacos for dinner. Heck yeah. Yummy, yummy. Love me some tacos. I got more stretchy pants. Becky, you're a bad influence on my checkbook. It's kind of like one of those things. Like, I need it, obviously. I need to get stretch pants. But they're so cute. I literally cannot. Yeah, when's your next show, Becky? Let me know. So we went ahead and used the medium on it. And I'm just gonna hit it again. And I probably do it the way you're not supposed to, but I hold the, hi Tiffany! I hold the screw at the top and then I turn my Dremel on a little bit. Cause I'm lazy. Tomorrow. Yes. I don't think I'm doing anything tomorrow, so that works out. Cool beans. All right. So, I'm gonna put my wheels back, and I'm gonna use my little radial discs. I call them radial discs, but they're not radial discs. I don't know what they're. I can't remember what they're called. Sanding discs. Something. I burped. I was like, I don't know why. I think I should have had you mention it. Your 24-hour show. I had no clue that it was even happening, and I felt horrible. So I had no clue. And yeah, if I would have known, I would have blasted it on my channel too. I felt really bad because I'm like, oh shoot, what's going on? So I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna get this 220 grit. It was so glad. That's so awesome. When you make a plan and it works out. Aw, thanks, Carly. Always have to, you know, support everybody. That's important because I grew because someone gave me the opportunity, and it's only fair that you continue the positive energy. So, straight up. So I'm going to take these, like I said, 220 grit. I'm going to make sure they're going the right way. Hey, Viv! sure they're going the right way. Yeah. Yeah. And these are really cool. I like these. It doesn't, I mean, it's like, if you ever got a cast, I've had a cast multiple times in my life, and they use the little, gun. It's like that. They're just sanders, but it's the idea of it. I turn into Michael Jackson. I'm like, hee hee. Oh, no problem. No problem. No worries. Communication is key, no matter what. No worries. I appreciate it. Positive energy. Positive vibes to you, Cinnamon. So basically I'm going to work my way down. The higher the, well, in this case, I think the 80 grit really takes stuff down, and then the higher you go, the finer it is. And then you can go to like the high polish. I'm still working it out, guys. Eventually I'll get it, one day. But basically I just kind of want to take it to a higher polish. So anyways, nose tickle. I've got the green ones. I'm going to hit it with the green ones, and then mostly just to get the excess solder out of the inside of the bezel cup. La la, eat your nose. And yeah, and then I'm going to set the stone and go from there. Hope everyone's Monday wasn't very Monday, if that makes sense. We took the kids to the pumpkin patch, and I'm still like, I was really surprised when we went to the flea market how many people were wearing masks. Awesome, Tiffany. Heck yeah. Tiffany, I'm so excited about the, the rings. I can't wait. Yeah, a lot of people were wearing masks, which was really awesome. My kids have masks. But we took the kids to the pumpkin patch. They wanted $30 to get in to do a tractor ride and all this stuff. And I'm just like, Jesus, that's a lot of... That's a lot of cheese. That's all I gotta say. Like, I think probably because last year my daughter was 2 and under, that it wasn't as expensive, but it would have been $30. I'm just like, we'll just get a pumpkin, 2 of them for $5, and we have fun at the pumpkin patch. I mean, I get it. I understand. Incredibly so. So, super shiny. And let's go ahead and set the stone. Let's get crazy! So, I'm going to put away, before I do that, I'm going to put away my sanding. Because I do eventually have to get at the other one, but I'm not too worried about that right now. When I was digging yesterday to look for jump rings, I saw this rose. It's a single earring, and it's a sterling silver rose. And I thought, man, you know, it really kind of inspired me. I can cut the tip, cut the post off in the back and use this as a, you know, an accent piece on a pendant or a ring or something. So it really gave me an idea. I thought, yeah, that's beautiful. That's why I enjoy keeping the scrap. Never know. Single earrings. Perfect. Yes. It's, I don't think it's that hot today. It felt like it was really hot outside, but. So, I think what I'm going to do, I feel like, so I think this is more or less a picture jasper. It's got a little bit of like blue in it a bit. No. There's the light. I was like, what's missing? So it's a little bit of a blue, and it kind of, this is the way I originally had it, because it kind of looks like the sky up here, and then you have the plains down here, and I felt like it I kind of go off of what the stone tells me. So I'm just going to take my flat nose pliers here. And I did sand it, so there is probably some movement. And I'm trying not to hit the solder seam, just because I don't want to. I'm just going to open up the scallops just a little bit so I know the stone is literally sitting at the bottom. And I'm going to have it... I'm going to put it in here, make sure it fits. Because wouldn't that be something? I got a piece of solder stuck. I'm trying to get it out. And there. La 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 la. Do 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 do. Anyways, what's everyone else got? Did anyone got any plans this weekend? The week coming up? Counting down to the weekend already? Let me know. I don't think this is gonna work. This may not. What's the matter? There. So weird. The way I want it to fit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flat prong setter and I'm going to hit it on the bottom, flatten it down, try not to cause a ripple. And I'm going to go to the other side, flatten it down. Go to the sides, flatten it down. And then just work into the middle. From the outside to the inside. And then I'm going to take the rocker. This is I'm going to make sure that it's really secure in there. And then I'm going to take my burnisher, which is just going to round it off. You can see that there's some lifting kind of towards the stone. This rounded part of this tool is going to help smooth everything out. And then I can take my buffing pad and buff around it and really make it nice and smooth, like how this one is. And like almost all of the embellishments that I did on it, the pre-stamp work has kind of come off already, which I think is kind of funny. I'll probably take, I don't have a Sharpie with me right now, but I'll probably end up taking like a Sharpie or like intentionally oxidizing at least the center part here, right underneath the bezel, just to give it depth. But I'm going to take this basically, my little hammer here. Oh, thank you! And I'm just going to knock it a bit. A little bit upside down because it is tapered. And I'm only hitting it, excuse me, I'm only hitting it in the rounded areas that I have. Probably gonna have to take it and move it just like this and hit it in the rounded areas. Just to make sure the ring band is rounded. Like I said, flip it over because it is tapered. And so you're looking at a round band. So now it sits at a 9. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Ah, a little bit larger than that. About a 9.5. A little larger than that. About a 9.5. So it fits just like this. And it's a statement, for sure. But why not? You know? I might go in a little bit later because I kind of wanted to have that like phoenix kind of look to it a bit. Kind of like having all of the attention be on the egg. Another thing that I thought of originally, and I actually had it drawn out, is like the egg within a mother bird. You know, all the goofy stuff. But yeah. It's going to need some more sanding and eventually some polishing, but pretty crazy. So there's another one. And yeah, so last night, if you guys missed it, I did this will be the second one in my kind of like little group that I did. This one down here is a moonstone and a crescent moon, and I like them to say stuff in the back. So this one says buzz with the B, and the other one says glow, the moon. So I thought, how cute. So, and then of course I have this guy here that I'm going to have to sand down the center. This was just an old button cover, and I sawed the back of it off and soldered it to a ring. So yeah, like I mentioned, I have this rose here that I was thinking about. But when I'm looking for inspiration for a next project to do, I like to pull out my stones. And I got a lot of them. I've been collecting before I actually started doing this. So I'm sure a lot of people were peeved off when I was buying out all of Mr. Jim's cabochons. But now it's paying off. So anyways, I kind of have them organized by color and by stuff. I feel like that light keeps buzzing. I've got tiger's eye down here. I got this really sick red tiger's eye, but I'm kind of timid at this point to do a square setting. So I think I'm going to stick with an oval. So I have, I have 14 people in here. Let's see. I've got mahogany obsidian. Fluorite. Labradorite. And lapis. What do you guys think? Labradorite. And the back is just as beautiful. Let's go nuts. Labradorite it is. Now, what are we going to do with it? Should we turn it into a ring? Should we make it a pendant? Thank you. What should we do? What should we do? Ring size 7, well, that's my size. Is that saying anything to you? Well, of course. This one right here, fun fact, when I first, this is a cabochon that I have had 2-inch metal bracelet with the stone in the middle. Ooh, a pendant will show both sides beautifully. Very true. Very true. This is actually something that my mom has had for a really long time. She had it in a macrame bracelet. And we were pulling it out, and this was probably a year ago, and I've held on to this one. So I'm really excited to be able to finally use it. Now I just don't know what to do. I guess I could use a pendant, make it out of a pendant for sure. Make a ring. What else did 2-inch metal bracelet with a stone in the middle. Sounds beautiful too, man. Wow. Crazy. So as far as the bracelet goes, this is how much sterling I have for like a back plate. But I got a whole heck of a lot of copper. And I don't know if I want to... The blue would look really pretty against the copper, but I just don't feel like... I'm just not feeling copper. So... I am gonna consider using the flat bezel wire on this. It's 5mm. So I'm gonna see if this is gonna work out. If not, I may have to use the scalloped one. But that's 4.8. This is a pretty thick tab, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes here. 7.5 mil. So I don't know. What'd you say? You could drill through the end into the pendant. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I may not be able, I don't know if I have thick enough wire for this, and it makes me nervous because I want it to be able to catch. So I don't know. It makes me nervous. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. So, what I think I'm going to have to do is go back to the drawing board and get a thinner cabochon before I start going nuts. This lapis one was really speaking to me. So I'm putting labradorite back just for now. Because I don't know why I've got such thick labradorite cabs. I've got rectangle ones and I've got like a couple of other ones. But I'm gonna put it back just for now, and I'm gonna do the lapis. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a lapis pendant. That is the wrong thing. Yeah. So this is a 4.8 millimeter in thickness. So this 5 millimeter flat bezel wire, yes, is definitely something I'm gonna do. There she blows. So what I'm thinking is like, wouldn't this be really having some kind of accent piece? I don't know. I'm really feeling this flower. I may have to look into how I can add this, or even just literally on top of it and then have the bail there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna have just your plain Jane, all accent, goes to the lapis, open back, and then I'm going to solder this to the back plate right on top, and then I'm gonna form a bail over top of that. That's what I'm gonna do. Boom! All right, let's do it. Cool, so the first thing I'm gonna do then is take my flush cutters. You did? We'll see. I don't want it to be too off kilter. Let's see how it goes. We shall see. I do have some excess sterling that I can turn into like balls, little round things to be able to solder on for more of like an accent. I might consider that as well. That sounds really pretty. Okay. So I'm gonna take, and this is pretty flat, which I just appreciate. Obviously I'm gonna take my my stone here and I'm gonna form it around. This is, I think, what is this? Is this sterling? Yeah, it's sterling silver, so it's not fine silver. And I'm just gonna work it around, and I don't know how soft this is. This is gonna be my first time working with this. It's a little bit more meat than I hate to cut it like that. You thought. And I'm gonna work it around. I may have to anneal it. Make sure pinched it tight. Okay. Then I'm going to take tweezers here and see the line and just notch it. Right at that line there. Take my flush cutters. Hit it. Boom. So that's what I'm going to do before I fiddle with it anymore. I'm going to anneal it, which means I'm just going to take the, the metal, heat it up, stick it in the, quench it, stick it in the pickle. Yes. Part safety, part gorgeous, part Linda. And go from there. Heat it up, quench it, pickle it, and it's going to be a whole lot easier to work with. I'm going to make sure that there is no flammable pieces in or around my heat source area. And just go in, around, around, around. Got my sour cream quench. It's all blackened now. Slap it in the pickle. Okay. What's going in the meantime? Put that over there. Got my rose here. Take my flush cutters and I'm gonna snip the post off and I'm gonna keep the sterling post back. Can you scallop the silver to fit around the lapis to hold? I don't have big enough, I don't have a thick enough scalloped bezel wire right now to hold the stone. What I do have in thickness is the flat one, but I do have scalloped bezel wire. I have 3.2 millimeter in thickness and I have 4.8. And then of course I've got 5 millimeter. So I got a various sizes. And then I have 10 gauge round wire. And then I have 12 gauge half round wire. The half round is what I've really been liking for making rings out of. Aw, thanks! The round, and you know, I've noticed too, I was going on Beaducation to look up other solderable accents that they had because I wanted something a little bit different because I really like the idea of kind of making like a, I don't know, like an intro ring to make. Like this isn't something that's going to take me whatever and I can scrap it and do it again, and it's more of a simple thing for me to start with. So anyway, they only had, and I'm taking it, I'm sanding the bottom of the rose. So I want to get it flat. I want to have a flush surface. Hear that helicopter? So I knocked down the post bit just a little bit more where my flush cutters couldn't get it. And then I am doing it in a circular motion so that I'm not just favoring one side when I'm sanding. And look, it's kaleidoscope art, or what are those? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Use those little gears. So it's more of a flat surface there. I may just have to pop just a few times on my spiral graft. Pop it a few times with my hammer. Only use copper tongs in the pickle. And I'm gonna, when it comes out of the pickle, it's nice and gray. I've got a tissue. And I'm just gonna wipe off the extra pickle. And now it is super easy to work with, so I'm not gonna stress. Okay. I'm gonna take my keeps wanting to come out. Silly goose. I'm going to take my flat sander and I'm going to check out my line here. And when I do hit it with the flesh cutters, kind of causes like a burr or like kind of like a pyramid kind of shape to it. So I'm just going to knock that down a bit. Okay. Oh, pickle. So it's this right here, Sparex. It's basically an acid compound that cleans the metal from the fire scale that happens when you heat up metal. So when you heat up the metal, it turns really black. There's a few different things that you can use. Sparex is actually an acid that will have to be, I don't know the correct terminology, but it's got to be deactivated. Like you got to add like something to it so that it's not going to be like toxic waste or whatever. There's citric acid that's more user friendly and more environmentally safe. And then there's like this penny bright here. Basically you're basically polishing up your silver, because once you hit it with the torch it turns black. There's some science behind it, I'm sure, but you're not gonna get it from me, just plain and simple there. So anyways, enough embarrassing myself. I'm gonna take my lapis and hit it around here, form it up just a smidge and make sure I've got some good, it looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this as flush of a line as possible. You're welcome. Or flush of a seam, rather. Bend it a little bit. And then I'm going to take my, everything's easier when you stick your tongue out, right? Mascara, phone calls. Basically, I'm creating tension so that this seam is going to sit well and flush. Because solder doesn't fill a gap. So if you have a gap or a space, or if you bend down and you can see, oh man, it's unlevel, your solder's not going to fill that gap. You need to have a flush area to solder. So this is what I'm looking at here. Hi, Wendy. Just kidding. This is what I'm looking at here. Goof myself on that one. And a lot of this whole soldering and jewelry making process, I say it like almost every single video that I'm doing, is 99% of it is prep and getting stuff together, and like 1% is actually using the fire. So that's my seam right there. I'm gonna stick this, and I have flattened it with my flat pliers, and I'm gonna solder the bezel, moving everything out of the way that's flammable and none necessary, because I don't want to have to hit anything, knock anything over, so that there's a fire. So I need to cut some hard solder, which is my least used solder, fun fact, but also accurate. I keep burping, I really apologize. Glad you guys can't hear it, hopefully you can. So yeah, I'm gonna take some hard solder. You really don't need a lot, because the more you put on here, the more eventually I'm gonna have to sand down. So that's a good enough pallion, a little bit larger, thicker than your average. I look in every day in my, I know, off tangent. Every day in my kitchen, I got these really funny pins from Thrifting Adventures. Her name is Stephanie, and she does auctions periodically on her channel. And she had like a random lot of pins, and one of the pins said, willing and still able. And I just thought it was so funny. So every morning when I'm like getting myself together, I see that pin and I'm like, that's right, pin. Here I am, willing and still able. It's just funny. So anyways, I have my flux here, and let me make sure that I'm on live chat. Yeah, there we go. And I've got my brush here. Dip it in the flux, hit my seam with the flux, hit my, wherever I left my solder, right here. I'm gonna hit that with a bit of flux as well. And what I like to do is crystallize the flux just a little bit so my solder is not going to pop off like popcorn. And it was probably day 3 of soldering that I realized that you do not have to hold the button down on the torch the whole entire time that you solder. I learned that happy accident. I'm really excited about it because now my thumbs aren't numb anymore. So here I go. I'm gonna just go ahead and slap my little big pallion there on, yep, on my seam. I'm gonna hit it with some cuprinil, which is just flux, a little bit more flux. And I'm gonna solder this together. Once the solder starts to flow, I'm gonna use my solder pick and knock over my bezel, and I'm gonna heat it up just a little bit more so that the solder comes through to the other side, quench it, and pickle it. And silly me, I didn't heat up or fill up my torch today, which that's okay. Evenly heating up the ring so it comes up to temperature, and heat up my solder. And so my solder went ahead and flowed, so I'm gonna knock it over and hit it through the other side. So as you can see, hi Laura, are we still on for Thursday? Yes, did you change your name from, oh, are you talking to Laura maybe? I have that right? Elijah, if you can see this and you want to bring me the charging cord that you were probably using. So you see that after, oh no, you're asking Laura, okay, good. So as you can see, this silver is just a bit dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and quench it. But it's, I mean, I wouldn't go touch it with my hands now. And then, stick it in the pickle. So there it goes. Pickle party. And that's just basically gonna clean it. So again, this is the stone in question, it's a lapis. And I've got this rose here that I was thinking about hitting. Putting it on here. I'm gonna go ahead and flatten it out a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Got my silver. Yes, not. This is my bleaching shirt. You guys couldn't tell. Hi, Rhonda. Cool. It's too dang hot, too swampy, too sweaty to be rolling out here, even though I've got, you know, the air going on back there. I just can't. It's too sweaty. So I got my silver, my wee little silver. I'm going to be getting some more from soon, basically. And I'm going to work out